Hi guys, we're gonna make a candle today. We're gonna make the Baphomet candle. This is the Baphomet candle mold here. I'm getting ready to get the rubber bands to put around this. It opens right here. This is how you get it out. So we're gonna make sure this is nice and secure so our wax doesn't leak out anywhere. Yeah. So what we're gonna have to do is right here, I have a hole made. There's the hole right here. I'm gonna go ahead and I've already got this threaded. This is my needle. And this is my hemp wick that I always use. So, well, is that it? Or is this it? This is it right here. Okay. So I'm gonna push this down into the mold without hurting myself. And then take some pliers and pull it through. And there's the needle. Gosh, this is so tough. They make these molds good. I mean, these molds are solid. They don't, unless you're rough with them or do something you're not supposed to do with them, I mean, they're made for just candle mold. I don't know. You can use them for resin, I'm sure. They're very sturdy. That's how they make these silicone molds. They're really thick. So I'm gonna pull this through. And the thing is, I have this mold sprayed already on the inside. I have it sprayed with a mold release spray. I've kind of screwed up and sprayed it one time while the wick was in. So when I took the candle out, it took the wick with it. I got this situated. I'm gonna put this to the side. Make sure you don't get your wick in with the rubber bands. And of course you wanna make sure the sides are completely centered when you put this on, when your rubber band's on. And then after I pour the wax, I'm gonna put one of these on here to keep the wick centered. All right. I'm not gonna pour it up all the way to the top. I don't know if you can see, but it's not completely up there because if you saw my last mold video, I have to tap on the sides because there are bubbles in the bottom. And if you don't get them out, you see the bubbles coming up at the top. If you don't get them out, then you're gonna have a big problem when this solidifies. There we go. We're getting some of the bubbles up from the bottom. There they go. As this is a very thin candle, we have fingers at the top and fingernails that come out, so which makes it difficult if you have bubbles, because if you take it out, it can really mess the whole thing up and break it. And this is the mold we're making. This was actually purple. It is purple. And I'm learning that some of my liquid color is too strong for it if I put maybe a dropper full in or two. It's not like paraffin soy wax was. So what I have to do is use less. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour it all the way up to the top. So that way I can center the wick and pull it down. There we go. And I always put it to the side. There's a little thing in the center where you can pull your wick over and it kind of stays. It keeps it in one area. So that way, you know, because the wax, as it melts, it takes it with it. And I don't want that to happen, so I just pull it down to the side. Not too hard. You don't want it to come out of the bottom. Now, I have mold release spray in here. So I went ahead and poured the wax, and I'm going to tell you that some of the areas inside this mold are very difficult if you don't have any mold release spray. What can happen is the bottom part, the fingers right here, right this part right here, I don't know if you can see that, but there are fingernails and very thin fingers. If you're using soy or paraffin soy or just plain old paraffin, this shit breaks off. And it usually breaks off at the knuckle. Sometimes it breaks off here. I've only had that happen once. But beeswax is hard, solid wax, and it takes a long time to melt, and it takes a very long time to solidify whenever you've got your liquid wax in the mold. It stays hot for a long time. Time it a little bit longer than you would anything else, any other kind of wax that you would work with. That's the color we're going to be having for the Baphomet candle. Now it's been several hours, so we're going to flatten this part right here. This part, make it flat so that way this is the bottom so it can stand up. When you melt the wax and it's beeswax, it'll get darker. See? You see right in front of your face it happened. It's wild. This stuff, it's dry and hardened on the inside, and this part is pretty much dry too. So we're gonna go ahead and open this up and see what we got. Okay, now let's check it first, make sure it is. Ooh, you see how easily that came apart? And this is the part I was telling you about. It totally stained. That's okay. Hot water and soap, guys, that's it. Hot water and soap. Now here we go. That's perfect. That came out completely perfect. There's no like oily residue or anything from the mold spray. As long as you don't put too much, you just, with the mold spray, you want to keep at least 8 to 10 inches away. You gotta do it fast because if you stay in one spot, it's gonna pull up. This is perfect. This is great. And there you have it.